Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track from an ex named Yolanda Arrey titled Neon. And if we switch over to here, we're going to be checking out this track on YouTube. It's got the music video for it. We're going to listen through this from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
Ooh, baby, you find me there. Ooh, baby, I'll be there.
Lovely vocal harmonies. Great development with the claps and the percussion.
This girl is in love with you, but she's not a lonely girl. I've been around the world. Your love makes me want to roll.
I mean, the cinematography is, the video is just really fascinating. If I'm honest, like genuinely it is. It's like kind of fascinating. I'm not really used to liking this kind of tone to the vocals where there's something going on with the modulation of it, but I think that it's kind of artistic, and I think that if you commit to it this much, it does work. You've got a really fascinating kind of music video that I'm sort of trying to get my head around. You've got the wonderful charisma. There's a lot of passion and performance behind the actual vocal performance there, and these interesting melodies and bass lines and stuff like that that seem like they're kind of separate, but then they come together really neatly at the end and kind of separate again. It's interesting, like the color of the neon with the bright colors in the music video. I assume that's the association, at least one of them were trying to make there. It was great to have the guitars when we had them, I suppose. Because as far as I'm aware, I have actually reviewed Beast before. I have reviewed Beast, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. Fascinating musician. I'm gonna maybe just have a think on this for a moment to ponder, and then we're gonna talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an ex named Yolanda Arrey titled Neon. Now, my initial take on what this track is about, it's about how vibrant the love for this person that we have is. It's talking about how this person, that they're in love with them, but they're not lonely, and how the love passes them by, and how it sanctifies them. I think if I was to have a stab at it, it's more like the love that this person brings, the love that you have for this person, or whether it's mutual or not, it kind of sets the world alight, you know, and a glow, and that's what all the bright colors and shiny things are meant to sort of demonstrate that. Like, I think we had like kind of far more washed out points where there was like kind of gritty and there were people kind of walking towards each other and stuff like that. I thank her for that, because it's not often you get that. It's not often you have a musician come in who is so like comfortable with themselves and so charismatic, and that just passes by so effortlessly into the performance. There you see them in the music video. This is a musician that knows exactly what they want, but they can also dance and they can also make it like a very kind of dramatic, like they've got everything going there, the full package, and it's very professional in regards to music video and the audio visual experience that we're having there. I mean, I love the color grading and everything like that in the videos. I know I look a bit washed out at the moment. I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't usually, my camera is being a bit weird, but well done on the music video. And I think that the vocal lines with the various melodies chosen, a little bit of the articulation and variation of the tails in some of the sections there, the distinctive hook lines. I'd say that there is a similar effect felt by the vocals for a lot of the track there. We have range with the melodies going up and down and the harmonies and stuff like that. It's a matter of, like, I don't know if this track would have benefited from more dynamic range on the vocals, but I feel as if there was a lot of a similar tone of voice to an extent, where if the track had been longer, I'm not sure if that would have been better. We might have needed to do something different with the way the vocals were treated in post and stuff. Because again, clearly Yolanda Arrey can sing, and it's a song where I think we were very happy with the style, and it worked in the time form factor it did. Because this track, it was 3 minutes long. It was predominantly lots of clapping, and there was kicks, and then there was like a bassy synth kind of thing. There was some guitar parts occasionally, but the focal point was more on those clappings, more on the percussion, and those were the main sort of features. And I think that in a track where you got the story told, you had hook sections and stuff like that, little sort of instrumental breaks occasionally, but it was mostly sort of like rhythm heavy. You had that groove and pace and sense of movement there that was so integral and vitally important. You almost got the feeling that this person was on their way, working with that love that they felt there. The love was passing them by, etc. They didn't want to like lose that opportunity. I think that there was enough throughout the piece instrumentally to keep things entertaining. We developed at the start things earlier on. We started with those vocal harmonies in the center of the stereo field and on the sides, working our way across top. Then we had like claps, and we kind of like came with the claps and then the drum kit and then like the bass and everything like that, and the clean guitars and stuff like that, a bit of electric stuff going on there. But it was almost very subtle. The vocals were, again, they were always the vocal point. And I think that that's smart in a pop song like this. I think the strength of this track was also knowing when not to have the harmonic instruments like the bass and the synths and the guitars there, to just have the percussion and allow all the different melodies and harmonies from Yolanda carry across the frequency spectrum and stereo field. And it's just a nice way to adjust the dynamic range without necessarily making things louder or quiet. The master itself in post was quite tight, and I think that's kind of like the 101 of what you want to accomplish here. You want to adjust the instrumental layers, figure out what does what, and amend so that it retains interest and engagement. I think that the development we had throughout compositionally was very subtle. Like with we had various arpeggios and the guitar parts and stuff like that later on, some lead bits, and then we had some strum parts, but they were like a sub element. Again, the bass guitar, nice and formulating the root notes of the bass lines and moving forward in a sense where it had a pace with the drum kits and the claps and everything when they came in and complemented the vocal melodies and harmonies in the lower end. The drums though, the claps, they were catchy as heck, man. They were flowing the entire way through, and absolutely no complaints about that whatsoever. It's fundamental, You can imagine people kind of vibing to that, and the percussion was a complement to that with the kick snares and cymbal patterns. It was exactly what we needed. It wasn't too much, but it had a great sort of quarter note, boom, dum, 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 quarter note accent there that moved things forward. And the synth parts we had there were kind of slick sounding there. There's a bit of fuzz, a bit of sass to them, but not too much. We were in unison rhythmically and tonally with what was going on with some of the vocal parts. We had a great that pace there. And those are the main components there. A lot of it was in how there was a relative sense of minimalism with the instrumental parts combined with a complexity to the various parts, ways that we communicated the vocals with different like melodic runs, ascensions of scales, and arpeggios. And it all led to a track where in 3 minutes we carried the story we needed to, we communicated it. The theme overall, it It was a song where we were trying to implicate a sense of trying to get the person up and running and moving around and kind of getting them to take the situation seriously, that they didn't need to sit there and procrastinate, that it was there if they wanted it. That's the sense I got from it. The constant rhythm and focus on the percussive elements there, the energy and vibrancy of the vocal performance combined with what was going on with the bass line and the kind of the synthetic elements with the synths. It added a sense of energy to it that I appreciate. I think even though I'm still not necessarily sure, as a summation of what the track is about, the little bits I can piece together with the help of that, and I appreciate that we've put a lot of love into trying to put this piece together in a way that is beneficial overall. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering's tight. It's commercial grade. I think I didn't get all the words through clearly, but I don't think it was a detriment. It was so neatly leveled and glued, and again, it was meant to be like a commercial sort of like radio single, and I think that they managed to accomplish that. From off the bat, like the vocals sounded tremendous, the claps and the drums and everything like that came in so sweetly, and it was just solid. Like honestly, like there's just something about it that made it seem very special. If it had been any tighter with the dynamic range, it would have been less like a little bit too much. But I'm glad that we allowed a bit of pump for like the kicks and stuff to come through there with a bit of side chaining and such. And I think that ultimately they ought to be very proud of themselves for the way they did in studio. And it was nice now with that pumping to the bus compression, limiting is handled. I mean, effectively, this is my review of this track from an actress named Yolanda Arrey, titled Neon. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I'm glad that I had the chance to check it out. If you enjoyed it, please do go check out the various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.